So, looking into the next chapter itself, which is all about oscillations, vibrations, and so on. So, here, first we need to see some of the definitions. And the first among all of them is the periodic motion. The periodic motion tells us that when the motion of a particle is such that it is repeated and always passes through a fixed point and it is at regular intervals. After passing through a fixed point, then when it comes for the first time, if it takes 5 seconds, then again another time it will take another 5 seconds. So 5 seconds, 5 seconds, 5 seconds, and so on. In this manner, at the same time, that is at the regular intervals of time, when a particle in motion passes through a fixed point, then that kind of motion is what is known as the periodic motion. So in continuation with the definitions, the next one that we have is the oscillatory or the vibratory motions. Well, there is some similarity and also there is a difference. When you compare the periodic motion and the oscillatory motions. Well, when it comes to oscillatory motion, the similarity is that here also the motion should be, well, passing through a point at regular intervals. Then the difference is that here it cannot choose any path. It has to just keep on moving to and fro along a fixed path. So it has to move only in this manner. The best example of that is the pendulum of a clock. Same path to and fro motion. Another one very good example is the movement of a spring. So this is also a to and fro motion. Such kind of motion is what is known as the oscillatory motion or the vibratory motion. When the spring moves, this is also known as vibrations. So note that. Okay. So here afterwards, what we now have is the all important motion called the simple harmonic motion. It is a type of, what I can say, the oscillatory motion, also known as the vibratory motion. It's a special kind of oscillatory motion. Oscillation means moving to and fro. Simple harmonic motion is also that. So when you got a motion that is oscillating, that is moving to and fro along the same path and passes the mean position every time for every one cyclic operations, then that kind of motion is called the simple harmonic motion. But description is different and defining is different. So like that, the simple harmonic motion has got its own definition. Well, everybody starts with the differentiation and so on. Somehow I'd like to avoid it. Well, the student preparing for NEET, not all of them are good at the differentiation. But I want everybody to be benefited. So like that, that is why I would like to take up that kind of explanation where you will get the result in a very simple manner and without differentiation. So then, for that, the definition that we have to understand simple harmonic motion is that a simple harmonic motion is obtained by projecting the uniform circular motion of a circle. So you have to understand quite some words. Well, uniform circular motion. Uniform, well, this is something which everybody knows, so not much to explain there. Still, nevertheless, I feel that some information from my side has to be put forth. Otherwise, if somebody says this is not explained, then I will affix. That is why formality says, let us say it. A simple harmonic motion is obtained by projecting uniform circular motion. Uniform means moving at the same speed. But here, for the circular motion, the motion is angular throughout. And for angular motion, the velocity or the speed that we have is angular speed. The symbol for the angular speed is different. It is not V now, it is omega. And proceed further. A simple harmonic motion is obtained by projecting the circle on the diameter of the circle. It can be any diameter. So for the time being, let us take this diameter shown, which is, say, A to B. For the circular motion, if a particle is making that circle, at different time, the particle will be at different points. So projecting the circular motion means for the different points of the particle, you project it down, like this. So projecting the circular motion along the diameter, and as you have it more and more projections continuously, so if you join all of them, you get a motion. This motion is called simple harmonic motion. So a simple harmonic motion is obtained by projecting a uniform circular motion on the diameter of the circle. Okay. So now to understand as to what is this projection, some may not know it. See, while you study something or when you try to understand the definition, in that if there are some new terms given, don't proceed further even if it takes 3 days time. First, try to understand what exactly is meant by the new term there. Even if it takes a lot of time. You have understood? Then read it from the start. Now everything is clear. Okay, see the next word, see the next sentence, continue further. Okay. Well, now to understand what is projection, see those who have got vested interest in engineering, they know it. If you have got a point above a plane surface, and if you see that from the top, quite far away, and you see that, but it is visible to your eyes, and from the top if you see, then it will appear as if this point is on this plane surface. It will appear like that if you see from a very far off distance. So like that here also, very far off, there is a point very far off. From there, if you see this point, it will appear as if this point is on the surface. That point, which you imagine to be on the surface, that is called the projection of this point. For this, the projection will appear to be here. Then this point is the projection of this. I'll show it like this. Then, if you see from here, then this will appear to be on this plane. Whatever appears to you exactly in front of the original point, then that what appears is called the projection of this point. So now you can very easily visualize as to what is the projection that we have in the definition of simple harmonic motion. So a simple harmonic motion is obtained by the projection of a circular motion. Circular motion, different points projected. Then one after another, if we keep on projecting, it will appear as if it is moving in a straight line. That projection is moving in a straight line on this diameter. So now you have got an idea. Project these points. Then you will get more and more continuous points. Join all of them. Then you will get a movement. That moment, I repeat, it is called simple harmonic motion. So let us take one such simple harmonic motion. And starting from point B, let us have, after some time, point B to be at P. And the center that you have of the circle is what is known as the fixed point for the simple harmonic motion. So from P to this fixed point, you try to join it. You can see that this is nothing but the radius. Let the center be point O, which is called the fixed point. It is because at the center of the to and fro motion. So it is also known as the main position of the simple harmonic motion. Okay. So for this main position, when the simple harmonic motion is to and fro, which are all the point joining the projections of the circular motion on the diameter. So like that we take one such point P and project that point P on the diameter. And let that projection be point Q. Also let the angle covered for the motion along the circle from B to point P is equal to theta. Already we have studied that for the circle the uniform motion has got an angular velocity omega. And we know, we have already studied that the distance covered is equal to velocity into the time taken. So you can also say that it is omega into t, which is the distance covered. Then already we have learned, I repeat it again, that for any projection on the diameter, that is for any point on the simple harmonic motion, where it is measured from the main position. Say, the motion would have started from point B. Still, that point is measured from the mean position. All this must be remembered. And let this distance from the mean position up to point Q, which is the projection of P, be equal to x. And we know that the radius is taken as A. Then what is this value of OQ? It is equal to A into cos of the angle, which is theta or omega t. And that is equal to the displacement. So what you therefore get is x is equal to A cos omega t. So I will call it as equation 1. Note this point. It is a displacement. But note that from wherever the particle has started or the circular motion, unmindful of that, irrespective of that, the measurement for the displacement of simple harmonic motion should start from the mean position. That is all. Okay. Now, like that in the order, what we have to see next, that all of you know, we have been saying it from the beginning. So the next that we will have to find out is the velocity. Okay. So taking another circle, the same circle I am representing it elsewhere for better understanding. So it is like this, that same circle, because of paucity of space I am drawing it smaller. So same circle means this is also having uniform angular motion, and which is with the angular speed omega. Then you see, to understand this, the best example is to take a stone, tie it with a string, and the other end of the string, hold it in your hand, rotate it. Rotate. Don't think that whatever you played when we were in the first or second standard, they are asking us to imagine that again. But at that time you imagine, you rotated for the reason that that rotation was giving you the fun. Now, out of the imagination which we are having now, which I have asked you to do it, that second or third standard play. From that, imagine the results that we get. It will be again fun. Yes. So now, angular velocity is omega. Here, to understand what will be the direction of the velocity, imagine that, close your eyes and imagine that you are rotating that stone. And wherever you leave that stone, see, this is how the stone will rotate, and you are rotating. That stone will make a circle, and on the other side will be the center of that circle, so rotate. So what happens is, when the stone comes almost horizontal, leave it, it will go upwards, exactly upwards. So from there, if we draw the radius perpendicular to the radius, that will be the direction of the velocity. Again, now take that string, rotate it. As you keep on rotating it, when the stone comes to the top, leave it, it will go tangential. I do not know how many of you have seen it, just see it. But the thing is that when you are rotating, then don't move. It will take some other direction then, because your movement and circular rotation, everything will be taken into account. The direction will be now different. Do not do that. Stand in a place and do the rotation, man. Leave it wherever you leave it at that point, whatever be the direction of the tangent, in that direction the body moves. So velocity will always be in the direction of the tangent. We need the circle again. For the time being, we have got the idea about the velocity and it's sufficient at present. Okay. So this is the direction for the velocity. So displacement is measured from the main position, from the center, from the fixed point along the radius. You can see that along the radius. So displacement is radial whereas velocity is tangential, and there is a difference of 90 degrees between them. So if x is equal to a cos omega t, then the velocity will be at 90 degrees, so it will be a cos, but not one more thing. All of you would have studied before that when a particle making circle starts from any point and covers an angle, say this is P and this is Q, the angle covered is theta, then the arc that is covered during that motion is P into Q. That is the distance covered. And any one you take is a radius. And we know the standard formula which we learned from earlier days is angle equal to the arc, that is equal to the distance. PQ, or distance is normally given by the symbol S, or whatever you want you take it, PQ. Angle equal to arc by radius. So radius, anyone. I'll call it as radius A, or maybe x itself. So from that what we get is therefore the distance covered PQ will be equal to x into theta. Right. And we also know, okay, for the time being you leave it here, we'll proceed further after taking into account the velocity. So what we have now seen is that angle equal to arc by radius. Therefore, the distance covered will be equal to the angle theta into the radius. So here also, if you want to convert this into angular velocity, the symbol for the angular velocity we know is omega, and of course multiply the radius. Yes, multiply the radius. Now the radius is a part of the radius only we should take, which is the displacement for simple harmonic motion, and so that will be equal to x. But there is a difference. I will call it as x dash. You know what is the difference? Whatever be the direction for simple harmonic motion, perpendicular to that is the direction of the velocity, perpendicular to the direction of simple harmonic motion. So what you have to therefore do is v is equal to omega into x dash, which is perpendicular now a into cos omega t plus 90 or minus 90, whatever you want, omega t plus 90 degrees. So 90 plus omega t, so this is more than 90, so it will be in the second quadrant. Second quadrant, sine is positive, so cos is negative, so you will get, or v is equal to omega into, for cos the other function will be returned back. And another thing is that for cos not only you will get sine, but 90 plus second quadrant, cos is negative, so minus, for cos you have got sine returned back, so it will be sine omega t. Okay, so you will get it equal to minus a omega sine omega t. So this is one equation for velocity equal to minus. And then, so I am trying to put forth in a very simple manner, that is why I am doing the teaching in a slow fashion. So you can also put it in the other manner, or this is 1 and I'll call this as 2. Velocity is equal to a omega sine omega t. Sine omega t. Okay. Sine omega t. There's a minus sign because the direction is opposed. Remember that. Okay. So now you will get therefore v square is equal to omega is also there which has not been entered. So it is going to be minus omega into a. Sine omega t. So it is, of course, minus omega, square it, it will be plus omega square, then a square, then sine square omega t. So please note that the velocity vector is perpendicular to the diameter, that is perpendicular to simple harmonic motion. So you have to add another 90 degrees to the equation which we are having for the displacement of SHM. So add another 90. So then we get minus for cos, and also when it is 90 degrees, the other function will have to be returned. So you will get sine omega t. And this is also equal to, the minus sign is there, minus sign when a square is gone. So you get omega square into a square into sine square omega t becomes 1 minus cos square omega t. See, I am showing all this without any differentiation. By way of differentiation, you will get it in 2 steps, but you will be keeping on thinking about it, how we got it for 2 hours. I am not talking about those students who are appearing for IIT. It is only for those students who are appearing only for NEET that I am giving the explanation here. Practice it 4 or 5 times when. A senior person told me once that 1 time writing is equal to 10 times reading. So just practice it. That will do wonders for you. So from this what you get is, or v square is equal to omega square, then within the brackets you have got a square minus a square cos square omega t. Now what is a square cos square omega t? See the board, man. You got it. A square cos square is equal to x square. So therefore what we will get is v square is equal to omega square within the brackets a square minus x square. That a here which you see is equal to the radius of the circle under consideration, and it has got a different name when you take the simple harmonic motion. Earlier for velocity the equation was 2, now again for the same velocity I will call it as equation 2e. So the velocity part is over. Okay, then we will have to take the diameter to find out the acceleration. Anywhere you want, you take the diameter. Let us take this diameter itself. So in that direction we have simple harmonic motion by projecting the different points of the circle. So in that direction only you need to find out the acceleration. So for that, already we have seen that for any point having a circular motion, the direction of velocity will be tangential. So all the velocity when it is tangential, then at the top. Shall I take the point at the top as A here? It is different from the A which you have taken for the first circle. And I will take this point as B. Here the tangential direction. In that direction the velocity is V. Omega is what is the angular velocity everywhere. So tangentially it is V. Because all the velocity will be in the direction of the tangent. But what you have to notice now is, this way and that way, there is a world of difference. WRLD, yes man, that is the difference we have. Between A and B, I am going to take a very, very small difference, but that difference is also equal to world of difference. Yeah. Okay, now, So because I told you just now it is a very, very small difference, so not the angle theta or alpha, it is going to be d theta or d alpha, smallest difference, d theta. So if we take this angle as d theta, then A and B, that gap will also be very, very small. So now what you do is, here the tangent, complete velocity at point A, that direction. Here the tangent, complete velocity at point B, that direction. But this velocity and this velocity, I told you there is a world of difference. You can divide this velocity into two components. Resolve it into two components. One, parallel to the diameter under consideration, another one perpendicular to the diameter that is parallel to the velocity at point A. So like this. And the other one is parallel to the diameter. So now this is d theta. Then what will be this angle? I have already told you under some other context that this also will be equal to d theta only. Well, if we take trigonometry or geometry, then it will take more than 5 minutes to find out what is this angle. Acute angle, obtuse angle, then triangle ABC, in that angle A is equal to 45 degrees, then thereafter another angle. No, all that is not needed. Otherwise, sin theta, cos theta is what you will have to take. Nothing is needed. See here, this center I'll call it as O. OA is vertical. And then this point OB is making some angle d theta. Then you can now see that the velocity component at A, I am taking the same direction here. So this is horizontal. And this is the radial direction, this is the tangential, so 90 degrees. So the vertical direction, this angle is 90, and we have got O to B, perpendicular to that is the velocity V at point B. Instead of just imagining that this is also equal to d theta only, see if you look into the geometry or trigonometry and so on, it will take more than 5 minutes to find out what is this angle. You have to take 90 degrees, so this is theta means 90 minus d theta, and like that little by little you will come here, gone. So instead of that, you see here, this line is perpendicular to OA, okay? And if you like it, give me one chocolate, okay? Amen. Now, this line is perpendicular to OB. So B, in the direction of velocity, that is perpendicular to OB. Now, AO and OB, the angle between them is d theta. So, this is perpendicular, and here this is also perpendicular to another line. Turn both these angles 90 degrees. You will get the other two lines. So, in between I am not changing any angle. These two lines I am turning by 90 degrees. Then don't you feel that in between the angle will remain intact only? Then that is all, man. So 90 degrees, no, d theta, two lines turned by right angle, both of them, the angle between will stay same. That's all. How simple it is it not? So imagine how much of time will it save in the examination particularly. So if you are able to get, because of that, 2 questions correct, you get 8 marks, 1 chocolate, give it to me. Yes. Okay. So now what you say is that before in the tangential direction the velocity is v. Now at another point in that same direction the velocity is v cos d theta. So this is v cos d theta. So like I said, in the perpendicular direction, if this is cos, then this is going to be v sin d theta. All this I am explaining, not necessary for the examination, for the one reason that I want to bring the result without any differential equations. That's why. So at the beginning you see the velocity direction is purely tangent. All the velocity is tangential, means no velocity remaining to act in the perpendicular direction. But here velocity is that v sin d theta. So in the perpendicular, please note this distance is very less, so close that you can take this velocity at point A itself. That thing is wrong. So what we'll have is change in velocity is v sine d theta minus, here the velocity is 0. So the change in velocity will be v sine d theta only. So we know what is the change in velocity, and rate of change in velocity means what? Divided by time. So the acceleration is equal to rate of change in velocity, that is change in velocity by time. For very small difference, time also will be differentially small. Because this is very, very small, then we know the rule from trigonometry that for very small angle, sine theta will be equal to theta, like that sine d theta will be equal to d theta itself by dt. Angular distance. Distance by time is velocity. Angular distance. So this is equal to angular velocity. So this is angular velocity. We know the symbol for angular velocity omega. So acceleration is therefore equal to v omega. So I'm not telling that this is like that only, the equation like this. Remember, no, for everything I am giving the proof, man. I'm giving the complete explanation. So make a note of it. Right. So we have now got to know what is the acceleration equal to. Acceleration is equal to Vw. Therefore, we have got A will be equal to V, or shall I change V in a different manner? Keep W as it is. See the value of V, and the value of V, we will take it from here. Or V is equal to W into X dash. W. X dash, I am taking it for the reason that adding 90 degrees. Otherwise, when you take only the distance, there is no difference. Okay. So, we can as well take it as for V, W into X, X is equal to A cos omega t. So, X will be equal to A cos omega t. What is A cos omega t? X. So, if still somebody has got a doubt, there is very, very small difference because d theta means everything will be small. So, no difference. That is why I take this. Okay, don't think too much about all these things. We want to derive the results, use the results, solve the problem. Solving the problem should be your main criteria. That only will fetch you marks. And if you follow whatever I say, practice it number of times, then you will get, how many marks are there? 180 marks. You will get 200 out of 180, man. You will get it. So that's all, man. You are getting MBBS. When you get MBBS, you must call me for dinner. Yes, I will come. Wherever you tell me, I will come. All right. So now coming back to the point, A cos omega t is equal to X, then omega square. So it is going to be omega square. But note one thing. We are getting this result by taking the velocity into account, and note that the velocity is negative, minus. So there will be a minus sign also over here. So equal to is equal to minus omega square x. So omega is a constant. Don't say it is angular velocity when you talk about simple harmonic motion. It is not. Where is the angle, man, for simple harmonic motion? So it is just a constant, that's all. Later on you will come to know that it is called angular frequency for that simple harmonic motion. We will see that later on. Okay. Then what we have now got is, it's a constant, take it out. So you will get, therefore, the acceleration is equal to, no, constant is taken out means that equal to sign will become proportional to, is proportional. So then, the acceleration is minus omega square x. Omega being a constant, later on you will come to know that for simple harmonic motion it is called the angular frequency. So far so good till then, just a constant. Removing the constant, you will get the proportionality sign, the minus is also there, so you will get minus x proportional to the acceleration. You know one thing, that the acceleration also has got a definition. Based on that definition only, you define the simple harmonic motion. Many books are like that. IIT also, I don't know why people who are preparing for IIT and the books that is there for them, they always start with dy by dx. See, without that we have done it. What is difficult in this? Even IIT boys also who are preparing for the exams will appreciate this. Yes. So, okay then. So, we have got, well, enough of simple harmonic motion here. We have defined the simple harmonic motion, and you could have seen that most of the times it is only from the definition directly we come to the equations. So, also here, a simple harmonic motion is obtained by projecting a uniform circular motion on the diameter of the circle. So from that we finally came to this diagram, and out of which we had found out what is the displacement x. From that, then little by little, one after the another, we got the velocity. For that, note that the velocity is in a perpendicular direction. Proof is here, perpendicular to the direction which is there for the simple harmonic motion. So from that we arrived at the equation for velocity, and yet another equation for velocity little later, and here, and using that we then went on to find out the acceleration. For that acceleration we had explained the circular motion at another time, and from that we had seen that we have proved that acceleration is equal to omega into velocity, and then omega into velocity, we wrote down the expression for velocity. Only difference is that we had neglected this x dash part which is there in the equation for velocity, for the reason that that only refers to the angle that will not affect in the equation, because this difference is very small. So it will make only a marginal difference, need not be taken into account. But in the real questions, the angle will be not differentially small. Then these two will make a lot of difference. Yes, should be taken into consideration, but not now here. Right. So from that what we get is W multiply W. So we get W square, and because we have already seen that while getting the result, the direction for the displacement is different and for the velocity is different. You see, direction always, from wherever you start, direction is measured from a fixed point. So projection of P is Q. So up to Q, you should always take the direction from the fixed point, O to Q, never Q to O, it will go wrong there. And from B to P, you can see that for that the velocity will be in this direction. So OQ and BQ, they are opposite. So definitely that negative will come when you go for the simplification. See that? It automatically will come. And thereafter, you have to take that minus sign continuously everywhere. I have not taken it, that's all. So minus sign only indicates the direction. So therefore, minus x. So people start the chapter on simple harmonic motion by giving the definition for acceleration only. So it has got a very good definition. By seeing the equation, you should be able to also take up the definition. You have to give it by yourself without listening to any explanation. So it is like this, that simple harmonic motion is that motion whose acceleration is proportional to the displacement and is always directed opposite to the displacement. So whatever be the direction of the displacement, acceleration will be always opposite to that. Here, the acceleration for any kind of motion, anywhere, you take it from here or whatever it is, acceleration will be acting always opposite to the displacement. When you work out problems, you will be able to understand all what I have said more. I have given that explanation which will make you to understand the concepts fairly well. And with this, you will be having the ability to solve the problems. So till we see the problems, our reward